For this tutorial you're going to need your yarn. I'm using Stylecraft Special Decay in Meadow. You'll need a crochet hook. I'm choosing to use a 5mm crochet hook, but you can look on your yarn label to see which size is recommended. You will also need some scissors and a darning needle to sew in the ends. To begin, you want to make your slip knot and insert your hook. And you're going to start off by chaining 3. So yarn over and pull through for a chain, 2 and 3. You're then going to take your hook and insert it into the first chain, grab the yarn and pull it through, and that will make a circle. So we're going to be working into the very centre circle. You're then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 2 treble crochets into the centre of this circle. So this is a UK term. In the US this is known as double crochet. So yarn over, insert into the middle circle, yarn over, pull through, you'll have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, you'll have 2 loops on the hook, and yarn over, pull through 2, and you're left with 1 loop on the hook. So you want to do another treble, and that chain 3 that we did at the beginning is now classing as a treble as well. So we have a cluster of 3 trebles. You're going to chain 2 and do another cluster of 3 trebles. 1, 2 and 3. You're going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, and do another cluster of 3 trebles. 1, 2 and 3. You're then going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, and you're going to insert your hook into the third chain from the bottom from the original chain 3 that we did from this round. So 1, 2, and then insert into the third chain. Grab the yarn and pull it through both of those loops which are on the hook, and that is your slip stitch. So we now have like a triangle. So if you look at it this way and pull that straight, it's like a triangle. What you're going to do is chain 3 for this round. That's going to class as a treble, and then you're just going to chain 2 because we're going to move over into the next space and then finish this space off last. So you want to do 3 trebles in that space. 1, 2 and 3. You're going to chain 2 and then do another cluster of 3 trebles in that same space. 1, 2 and 3. You're then going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, and then move across to the next space and do a cluster of 3 trebles. 1, 2 and 3. You're going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, and do another cluster of 3 trebles in this very same space. 1, 2 and 3. We'll chain 2 and move across to the last space. So same thing, 3 trebles, 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, and then because we've got the chain 3 that we did at the very beginning, we're just going to do 2 trebles, 1, and 2, and then we're going to insert the hook into the third chain from the bottom and grab the yarn and pull through for a slip stitch. So that is our second row. Now where we are here, this is actually going to be the base of our work. So if I was holding it like this, we are just about to start making the base of the tree here and then work our way round. So at the moment I am here. So what you want to do is chain 2, 1 and 2, and then in this space here you are going to work 4 trebles, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So because we've done our 4 trebles and this chain 2 counts as another stitch, it's almost like we've got 5 stitches. We're going to chain 2 so that we can bring this down into the space again and just do a slip stitch, and that creates a 6th stitch down at the bottom. From here we're going to move across into the next space, and we're going to do that by chaining 2, and then we're going to do 4 trebles in this space. 1, 2, 3 and 4. We want to make this edge stick out a little bit, so you want to go ahead and chain 2, and then you're going to do another 4 trebles in that very same space. 1, 2, 3 and 4. You want to chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to insert your hook into the second, or the top of the second treble. So this is the top of the first, this is the top of the second. So your hook goes in there and it looks like you have a little V on your hook, and you're just going to grab the yarn and pull it through both loops on the hook. You might just want to pull on your yarn just to bring that stitch down, and then we're going to chain 2 and then do 4 trebles in this space. 1, 2, 3 and 4. You're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then insert the hook into the top of the second treble and yarn over and pull through again to make your slip stitch. You're going to chain 2 and then work into this bit here, which is going to be the peak of the tree. Do 4 trebles, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. If you want the top of this to be a little bit more of a peak, you could actually chain 3, but I'm just going to stick with 2 and do 4 trebles into that same space. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then you're going to chain 2, and then just to make it look a little bit more symmetrical, we're actually going to go into the top of the third treble. So if you pull this out like this, you have a gap, a gap and a gap. We're actually going to go into this one just because it makes it look a little bit neater, and then do your slip stitch, chain 2 and then do 4 trebles into the next space. 1, 2, 3 and 4, chain 2 and then insert your hook into the third gap along, slip stitch, and then we're back in the bottom corner, so we're going to chain 2 first of all, do 4 trebles, 1, 2, 3 and 4, chain 2 and do 4 trebles into that same space, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you're going to now chain 2, 1 and 2, and then you're going to insert your hook into the base of that chain 3, so just down in the bottom there. Grab your yarn and pull through, and then just pull a little bit on your yarn here just to loosen off that stitch a moment, because you're going to go into the top of that stitch. So where we did that chain, you're going to go into the second chain from the bottom and then just do another slip stitch, and that just pulls up that thread there so that we can add a little bit more onto the top here. You want to chain 2, and then we're going to work into the top of each of these stitches. So this is our first, this will class as our first treble, and there's going to be 6 along here. So if you turn your work up slightly, you'll see that you have 4 V's, and then you have your end stitch there. So you want to treble crochet into that first stitch. That's 1, into the next, 2, 3 and 4, and then into the very last one you're going to do it into, you might just have to pull it apart just so you can see that space there, and that is your last stitch. So you want to yarn over and pull through, grab your scissors and snip off and pull that out, and then pull nice and tight on that thread, and then all you have to do is just sew in your ends. So this one I've already worked in, and you can just grab your darning needle and pull that through. The last thing you can do is just pull on these edges here, and it just sort of opens out the tree a little bit more. You could also block it as well, where you can put it onto, you know, some polystyrene or a self-healing board and just pin the corners just to make it stretch out a little bit better. But that is your tutorial. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to keep up to date with any of my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again next time. Bye!